Chapter 1. A kookaburra soars over her neighbourhood. Deep green pockets of trees jumble together with crisscrossing tracks, winding roads and patchwork roofs. A cloud of red dust swells as a ute pulls into the driveway of a brick home below her. She lands on the neighbouring paper bark for a closer look. A curtain twitches. The ute door slams. "Mama!" Billy runs into the arms of the dusty woman stepping out of the ute. She swings the child in the air, then they pull each other into a tight hug. A shadow moves in the front door. "Safi," Marlian says in a soft voice. The elder raises his arm in a wave. "Welcome home, bub. Can I get you a cup of tea?" His voice is familiar to the kookaburra. It has whispered through these streets and sung through Jellurgal for many decades. In his voice is the voice of his ancestors, voices still carried on the breeze and passed between trees. The kookaburra laughs as she watches the family move inside their home, reunited after time apart. She relocates to the safety of a banksia branch that stretches across a window. Inside, the family gathers around the kitchen bench where an old teapot is filled from the kettle. A mismatch of plates is put out for breakfast. The kookaburra directs a beady eye at the pile of metal, timber, and old parts carefully organised on the tray of the ute. Near it, the open shed is similarly organised, but looking like a tangle of scrap to an untrained eye. The family move out to the front veranda, settling at a table with mismatched legs and fold-up chairs. The kookaburra swoops for a juicy-looking caterpillar in the bordering garden bed, listening to the conversations occurring. Safi is sleepy. She always is when she comes back from time away. She leaves on the full moon and returns when it is a new crescent, a slither over the mountains. Kookaburra knows from Mibben, the eagle, that she spends this time moving into other country, far away, leaving with her ute empty and coming back with it full. Full of things that get picked up or taken to others, or that disappear into the shed and come out as part of something new. "I have something for you," Safi says to Billy. She yawns and walks to the side of the ute, pulling out the slightly rusted frame of a bike. "For me?" Billy asks. "For you," she replies as she's hit with another hug. "We can pass the one you've grown out of onto Sam next door." Marlian is already standing, walking softly to a pair of wheels hanging on the shed door. "I've got these ready," he says with a wink. They work together to fit the wheels in place. Parts of the bike are tightened, oiled and tested. The rising sun glints off the bike. "Nyajung, look at me go!" Billy sings to her grandfather, riding laps of the still quiet street. Safi turns and begins loading her cargo bike with parts she's found for Hassan. The kookaburra can hear stirring in other houses. With a final laugh, she takes to the sky.